Think about some of the most pivotal, important decisions that you've made over the past year. Some of the most difficult decisions that you've made over the past year. Some decisions that led to positive outcomes. Think about how you made those decisions. Think about the process, the strategy, the structure that went into those decisions. Are these decisions something you made based on a whim, or are these decisions that you've made based on a lot of thought? When you tend to make strong decisions, do you make them more proactively or reactively? That is, do you wait until you have to make a decision, or do you make a decision knowing that you're going to go into a better situation, or hopefully you're going to make a decision that will lead to an outcome that will help you go into a better situation? When you make decisions and there are inevitable obstacles, do you tend to overcome those obstacles, or do you tend to give up easily? When you make decisions and things don't go well right away, do you tend to doubt yourself and then back off your decisions, or do you stick to your decisions knowing that they will work out eventually, somehow, some way, and you keep moving forward? When you make strong decisions, how does this compare to your reference group, your social reference group, your friends, your family, your colleagues at work? When you make strong decisions, is this something that generally elicits a lot of support, or do you suspect that there might be a little bit of maybe resentment because you are capable of being able to make strong decisions while other people tend to wait on the sidelines? Do you notice that some people, some of your colleagues, some of your friends, some of your social reference peer group, they tend to sit on the sidelines of life, wishing it were easier, wishing something magic would happen to make it easier for them to succeed, and you tend to be somebody compared to them that makes strong decisions based on your desire to get in the game and live a better life? When you make strong decisions, do you ever suspect there's the crab in the barrel dynamic playing out, where you're doing things deliberately to improve your life, but other people might even go so far as to self-sabotage you because they see you moving ahead, and that might make them feel a little anxious because they might not be able to do that? When you make decisions like that, is that a difficult thing for you to do? To leave behind people that would rather not make decisions and rather prefer the misery or the company of misery of people that can't decide? When you make decisions, how does your ego play into the decisions that you make? Are you someone who is kind of constrained by your ego, or can you think beyond your ego? If you were to ask yourself, compared to your peer group, your social reference group, how much you can leave your ego behind and make strong decisions versus some other people who might be constrained by their ego. When you make strong decisions, how well do you act in accordance with your value system? When you make strong decisions, how well do you realize that your decisions are congruent with past decisions you've made? I was listening to this podcast the other day, and there was this psychologist who was talking about this process that she learned at a seminar for psychologists. And it's a new therapeutic technique, and it's based only on asking questions. It's kind of the holy grail of therapy, because a lot of therapists get caught in the trap of telling their patients what to do, of telling their clients what to do. And whenever this happens, this elicits a kind of an ego battle, because whenever we tell somebody what to do, that elicits an equal and opposite ego response from them. But if you could simply ask people questions and ask them what to do from the inside of their experience, from the inside of their memories, from the inside of their desires, you can carefully and covertly construct the perfect combination of desires that will lead them to make pretty much any decision you want to. And this psychologist was saying that the person that taught this to them was very, very careful about teaching this to the wrong people, because this is such a powerful collection of questions. Simply by asking people questions, you can create a deep desire in somebody, a deep collection of desires in somebody that they will do pretty much anything you want to. So she was saying that she doesn't really want to share this technique with others except her clients. She says it is possible, though, for some of her clients to listen to this and be able to understand this and reverse engineer the process from the conversations that they have. But she's not sure this is probably going to happen. But this is something that you need to think about when you make strong decisions. Because if you think about how you make decisions compared to other people, you need to be careful about leaving people behind. Because if you do want to be successful in life, if you do want to live the life you want to live, you're going to have to get off the sidelines. You're going to have to make strong decisions and follow through on those decisions. Now, somebody like you already understands this. Somebody like you has a history of being able to do this consistently. But what would you tell somebody else who wants to make strong decisions like you but doesn't have a lot of experience doing that? How would you give them examples from your own life? How would you give them anecdotes and metaphors from your own life about how to make strong decisions? Because any future conversation you have is an opportunity to ask people questions and get them to do essentially whatever you want them to do. This is something that you can continuously and repeatedly improve and transform how you have communication with others. Does it really matter that this is kind of a clunky process that isn't intuitive and might be difficult to learn at first? Because the more you learn new things, the more you'll be able to find different ways to apply this technique in all kinds of different ways. Anyhow, if you'd like to learn more, check out the links below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.